So 8-4 Iowa playing Miami. Don't want to watch it. Don't watch it. That's fine. Same time, it's, that would replace Championship Saturday, which I am for, as I just expressed. But think about it this way with Texas this year, Jack, with their schedule. Like SP Plus came out yesterday, ESPN's Bill Connolly, SP Plus, the post-portal, post-spring practice rankings. Texas is number 6. Ohio State's number 1. But if you take the composite of the 12, the top 25 teams, or top 20 teams, on Texas's schedule this year, this season, Texas plays 8 of those teams that are in the top 20. 8. 3 at home, 3 on the road, 1 neutral. No, 3, yeah. 3 at home, 3 neutral. So they play 8 of those teams that are in the top 20. That's a tough schedule. And, the 24 teams, and this is for everybody that has a tough schedule or an easy schedule or where everything is. I think more seats at the table is a better option, especially as we said, as the Fox executive said, if it creates even better September games. So with a 24 team, Texas is likely, if they lose to Ohio State this year, Jack, who's number 1 in the SP Plus rankings, and then they take a couple of tough losses in Knoxville and Baton Rouge.
Right.
And on a 12-team format, they're not in. For those that you saying water it down. Well, Texas may go on to win and beat 5 or 6 other top 20 teams. But if they lose to number 1 and they lose at LSU and they stub their toe somewhere, Arch twists his ankle and misses a game, even though you have one of the better teams in the country, you're not in because your schedule was brutal. Wouldn't you like the opportunity to be in and play your way back from that, I would argue. And as a consumer, let's keep it from not just college football fan, but a consumer consuming games during the course of the season, I don't want Texas to cancel the game with Ohio State. I don't want big schools to cancel future games. I want to watch those games. I want to go to those games. But reality is if you stay at 12, which at this point no one's pushing for 16, it's either 24 or stay at 12, those games are going away. September's games are going away. As much as I want those games. So if I've got to put up with an 8-4 Iowa team against Miami on Saturdays, which I can choose to watch or not, December 1st, but I want to keep those games in September, which the Fox and the ESPN executives are saying we're going to push to keep and pay for, I'll take that. I'll take better September games and maybe some lousy first-round games in the college football playoff.
Which we already have.
Which you already have. And we have in the wild card round of the NFL, too. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I think it's a better trade-off. I agree with you.
Because it's one or the other at this point, and that's coming from everybody. We'll cancel these games. Because remember, Texas and CDC.
Indiana came out and said it. They've already done it. They're right. Championship.
Well, under this new format, they wouldn't be allowed to do that. Right. Indiana would have to schedule somebody from a Power 4 school in the non-con. They would have to.
That's better.
Everybody would. So we get better games in September, and you have to maybe put up with a couple of lousy games. But I would say when there are 12 new games that you're going to get on that first Saturday and the first round that now doesn't exist, there'll be some good ones in there. They're all going to be good, but I guarantee you half of those games are really compelling football games, and they're on campus. And then, yes, the winners of those games would travel to play the top 8 on their campus. So to your question on the text line, if Texas is in the top 8, they would sit back, watch, and then host. So DKR would be rocking like it was with the Clemson game a couple of years ago. And who doesn't want that? And if they win that, then they're on to the quarterfinal round like it is now. I don't think it changes that dramatically. I do think it makes it for the better. That's what I would argue. I think it makes it for, again, eliminating Championship Saturday, making it regular season champs are decided in the 9-game regular season. We did that for years, and we could do that again. And you keep the September games, which in my mind, if you stay at 12, are going away by my read of all of it. So there you go.
We've already seen it go away. I mean, USC Notre Dame isn't happening.
Correct.
We've seen, that's not the only game that's been canceled. We saw Texas.
Alabama canceled a big game.
Yeah.
But again, now every team would be forced to, essentially.
And I think that's good. I think we need to get that in writing with the Big Ten and the SEC. It's like, hey, you're
SEC's already got it. Yes. SEC already requires all 16 teams to play a Power 4 team as one of their non-conference games. You can't You can't do all directional schools in your non-con.
Talking to like a TV is on signing the dotted line as well with the Big Ten and the SEC, and you're like, our best teams have to play your best teams, and we have to see Oklahoma play, Michigan again, and Texas, Ohio State.
And you're not going to be able to. I don't
play
think,
Alabama,
because I know there are those who would say let TV decide the schedules and have they make the matchups. I wouldn't be totally against that, but schools still are going to want to control their autonomy over their scheduling. But the SEC's last piece of leverage now would be, we went to 9. like you wanted. And now all the ADs are admitting or saying that we wouldn't have gone to 9 regular season games if we had known it was going to stay at 12. But guess what? We need everybody. Indiana can't play 3 cupcakes before they get to the Big Ten schedule, because there are enough cupcakes in the Big Ten right now that you need to be playing somebody good from the Big 12, from the SEC or the ACC. And again, TV's going to love that. I think consumers are going to like that. Those are good games early. Labor Day weekend can stay the blockbuster event that it needs to be, where there are marquee matchups from Friday through Monday night of Labor Day. And really, then that's the weekend that doesn't. The first 2 weekends, Jack, don't compete with the NFL at all. And so you're standalone. That's a good way to start it. There'll be a lot of money in that. But again, I see the downfalls. I think what people don't like about it. I just think the pros outweigh the cons because of the if you're gonna
at this point I agree,
because if you say I hate the idea of 24, you have to say, well, then do you love the 12? Are you just in love with this 12 where the committee has said that accomplishment, just playing in your conference title game, awards you into the tournament even if you got skunked in that tournament game by Georgia, because Alabama shouldn't have been in the tournament last year the way they were playing, but they got in because of the way they played early.
Yeah, because of the rules of the tournament, they deserve to be in.
Yes. And I think
the way they've decided to legislate who gets to be it, because I think Texas was one of the 10 to 12 best teams in the league last year, but based on the rules of the playoff committee, I had no belief that they were going to get in, and I didn't think they should be in based on precedent. Right. But they were one of the 10 best teams in the country last year.
Yeah, and Bama got in over them because they played in that game. That was their data point. Mm-hmm. But then there's Notre Dame who got left out, who doesn't have to play in one at all. Which is, the silliest part of all of it. If you're going to use these conference championship games as some type of data point, and one of the 11 members of your college football governing commission doesn't have to play in one or never will have to play in one, well, that's not right. So this solves that. But yes, it's going to come with some bad games and you're not going to want to watch. But it will come with 12 new games,
but
which
you can
half
pick
of
your
them will be
spots
good.
there. That's the nice thing. If there's going to be 8 playoff games it would be 8 because it's a 16-team play-in that turns into. They go against those 8 teams. So there'd be 8 playoff games on a weekend, and you can pick and choose when you want to watch. You can put the game on, because that's the whole point of this, is so Fox can get in on the deal.
Sure.
So it's not just ESPN.
You're 100% right.
And so you can stop watching the game you don't want to watch. Like, I can tell you, when did I go to the grocery store that weekend? When did I go run my errands? It was when James Madison was playing. We still
Oregon.
Had suck playoff games. Like
Tulane playing Ole Miss.
Most of the time, like even back to the 14 playoff, there was usually 3 teams we were sure about, and we were scratching our head about the 4th. I get it. There's not a lot of these teams that are contenders for national championship games, but that's not totally what this is about. I just think we have to change our perspective on that.
Well, I think that's well said. And for folks, longing for the days of only 2 getting in or 4, I think we're way past that. And now you have to add to the conversation about, let's go back to 4. Well, now you have NIL and you got to pay players. So they need more revenue, which means they need more games. And TV's got to be more involved, whether we like that or not. And they're never going back. But Jack, when you have the transfer portal and teams can add players and, the second and third level effects of that, where you can go out and fill your roster with star players now, you need to have more. You need to have more than 2 or 4. And the old way is way antiquated now. You've got to be able, to pay the players and come up with revenue streams to afford that with all these athletic departments. But there's also more good teams now. They're not just stockpiling 5-star recruiting classes. Those guys are leaving to go play elsewhere. And one of the level effects of that, Jack, coming up tomorrow night with the draft, guess what you're going to not see anymore? And I know some people don't like this. You will not see small school players drafted anymore.
For the most part.
Now, they might have been a small school at one point. Like Trinidad Chambliss might be drafted. Trinidad Chambliss was never going to be drafted out of Ferris State. Okay? He got to go to Ole Miss and show his stuff at the highest level, and now when he does come out, he will be drafted, and he'll be on an NFL team. But yes, I mean, there's some, think about Larry Allen, the Cowboys' great lineman out of Sonoma State. Right? For the history of the NFL draft, there's always been these small school guys. That's not going to happen. And you as a fan and a consumer can be mad about that. I mean, I used to love it when Jerry Rice came out of Mississippi Valley State or Walter Payton out of Grambling or wherever these guys come from. Well, those guys, personally, as an individual player, they don't have to stay at Sonoma State anymore. If they prove themselves at their level, they're going to move up, make some NIL dollars, and play on a better team. They're still going to get drafted. They still now they have more opportunity as a path to the NFL individually. But yes, the small school guy is going to, not going to happen anymore. You won't see it.
And people are going to be like, well, what about this guy? It's like, yeah, there were two. I'll give you that.
Well, there were a lot because that used to be the way because once you were there, you were there. And everybody knew you were good. Remember when Steve McNair was at Alcorn State and guy was awesome? And he in this day and age, he'd do 1 year at Alcorn State, and then he'd be playing for Auburn or Alabama for crying out loud. Is that somehow a bad thing? Or does Steve McNair need to stay at Alcorn State for all 4 years and set all the records? Or can he move up?
Gray Zabel was a first-round pick last year. These things happen, but it's fewer and farther between.
It's going to be fewer and fewer. Fewer and fewer. You're right.